Hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I can see Lijo, Abhilash. What about the others? Good morning, Akrishti, Gaurang, Akash, Mayank. Great to have you all here, guys. Very good morning on a Sunday morning. So first and foremost, I just want to ensure that you can hear me. So if you can hear me, just shout out yes, yes, I'm audible. Just type in a yes. Why? Anything will do. Anu, Richard, hi guys. Good morning. Good morning. Just type in a yes so that I know that I'm audible. I know, we are in the midst of for all the cricket aficionados, this is like the most exciting season going on. There's the Women's World Cup going on. There is a Australia versus Pakistan Test series going on. India versus Sri Lanka Test series going on. West Indies versus England Test series going on. My God, there's loads of cricket. So I think this is the perfect time to kickstart today's session. Only one test series going on right now, which is Australia versus Pakistan in the middle of this session. I know I've spoken too much cricket, but yeah, okay, so that means I'm audible. Great, thanks for that, thanks for that, thanks for that. Okay, guys, welcome. The context of today's session is very, very simple. Okay, we're almost about 8.5 to 9 months away from CAT. Now 8.5 would have sounded like a very odd number to kickstart the session. So we've gone ahead, taken a whole number, and we're saying we're about 9 months away from CAT. If you actually start counting the number of days, you're somewhere in the vicinity of about 250 odd days to CAT. So first and foremost, we have enough time. Now the context is, what to do in this time? How do I prioritize? How do I go ahead and decide how to kickstart my preparation? What should I do in verbal? What should I do in DILR? What should I do in Quant? Is there a specific study plan that I should look at? All of that and much, much more that we're going to go ahead and discuss in today's session. But before we kickstart what we have in store for today's session, and I promise I will not make this boring, at least I'll try my level best, and I ensure that we'll take about 60 to 75 minutes, not more than that. But before that, two things that I want to know. Number one, how many of y'all wrote CAT 2021? That means you have tasted CAT already. If you have tasted CAT already, give me a yes. If you've never written CAT before and you're going to write CAT for the very first time in 2022, November, expected around 27th, please give me a no, so that at least I know who I'm talking to. How many yeses, how many no's? Come on, over to y'all. I want to see how many of y'all go ahead and wrote CAT 21. That means you've already tasted it. How many will be writing it for the first time? So Abhilash says yes. That means he's written. I see no's, yes, no, yes, yes, no, no. Okay, wow. So this seems like a very good mixture. I see quite a few no's coming in. So all the no's, okay, so that means you're writing it for the very first time, right? You're going to taste it for the first time. I see a few yeses. Ritu, KA, hey Tanjeem, good morning, good morning. Oh, okay. So quite a few no's, a few yeses also interspersed in between. Now, to all the yeses, that means to everybody who wrote CAT 21, I actually had a session a few days ago, probably about 2 to 3 weeks back, where I picked up the specific session of CAT 2022, the repeater strategy. Did anybody attend that? Did you attend that? If you didn't miss anything. Don't worry, because I'm going to cover all of that and more in today's session. But in case you attended it, I just want to hear once again a yes. If you attended that, give me a right or something, because yes and no's are already going on. A right. If you attended the CAT 2022 strategy session for repeaters, which I had about 2 to 3 weeks back. Now I'm doing all of this because this is going to help me understand who I'm dealing with here. So Nikita saying no, Bansil saying no. So I'm guessing you all didn't attend that, right? So if you haven't attended that, no need to worry, okay? Because in today's session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at CAT 22 from the perspective and from the lens of two unique test takers. Number one, students are going to write it for the first time, okay? And number two, for students who are going to write it for the second time, but this is probably going to be the most important attempt, okay? This is probably going to be the most important attempt, okay? So if you attended my repeater strategy session, you can continue, but you will find a lot of repetition here, okay? If you did not, great, this is the first time, okay? We're going to have fun. So having said that, let's go ahead and get the agenda of today's session. Very, very clear in terms of what all I'm going to do. First and foremost, I'm going to talk about the CAT basic modalities. Sir, is chat public? Yes, Aditya, I think it's public. I can see. But don't worry, go ahead. Any questions, please feel free to ask, okay? Don't worry. Okay, so CAT basic modalities, we'll have a look at the important dates. We'll have a look at certain operational things out of the way so that you understand what is the timeline that you're looking at, okay? Number two, what we're going to talk about, and this according to me is the most important, okay? This is going to be the crux of your preparation, which means, yes, Lijo, your comments are visible. CAT analytics. Now, to many of you all, have you ever sat down and thought about the fact, okay, we've got about 250 days to go. In DILR, which topic should I kickstart my preparation with? Over the course of the next 30 to 45 days, what is it that I should do? Any specific topics I shouldn't even look at. Think of it from the quant perspective, okay? From the quant perspective. Now we've got so much. We've got arithmetic, we've got algebra, geometry, number system, modern math. So many of you all have gone ahead and, gone through a lot of those sessions. Some of you all might not have gone through any of those sessions. In quant, I further break it up into percentages, profit loss discount, SICI, ratios, averages, mixtures, allegations, time, speed, distance, time and work. My God, that's a never-ending story. But can we actually sit down, analyze the entire thing and come out and tell you, did you know Rakshana, did you know Sriyada Maraju, that you can go ahead and just focus on these 6 or 7 subtopics over the course of the next 3 to 4 months and still score a 95 percentile? Hence, CAT analytics is actually going to be the stepping stone to you going ahead and targeting a specific percentile. And this, according to me, for all of you all, will be the most important subsection of today's session. Okay, so please keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Ask questions in case you feel that you have any doubts, okay, related to CAT analytics, the most important part of what I'm going to discuss today, okay? For new aspirant, what the strategy? Swastik, exactly what I'll discuss today, okay? So I'm going to talk about repeaters, I'm going to talk about new aspirants, and actually you will realize that there is 80 to 90% overlap, irrespective of whether you're a repeater or a new, a person who's going to write it for the very first time, okay? So don't worry about that. Focus a lot on what I have to state. Ask questions, but after I finish talking about what I want to, because there is a huge chance and a high chance that you'll go ahead and you'll state something, and I've already gone ahead and answered that in the PPT, okay? And finally, the third part, we're going to go ahead and sit down and look at the study plan and specific goals for CAT 22. Does this make sense? You're all fine with the agenda? Can we kickstart the session? And as I promised, 60 to 75 minutes, I'll try making this interesting, and I'll try helping you all come out with a very specific strategy to at least start off by aiming for a 90 percentile over the course of the next 3 to 4 months. Can I help you all reach a 90 percentile till probably July or August? Okay, till probably July or August, and then from July, August till about November, can we move that to a 95, 99 percentile, okay? Ishita, you will get a specific study plan. I won't give you, okay, day 1 do this, day 3 do this, week 1 do this, week 2, no. But I will tell you specific months, what is it that you should do. Ruby, I can see your message. Ishita, I can see your message. Swastik, I can see your message. All of you all are asking me whether I can see your message. I can see all of your messages. Don't worry about that. Abhilash, yes. Don't worry, all those study plans and everything, I will go ahead and talk about it from a topic perspective. I'll tell you in March and April do this. Then you decide. If you're a working professional, you might want to do that over a Saturday or Sunday. You might want to do that over, evenings and late nights. If you're a fresher who's in college, depending upon whether your college has reopened or not, now I think COVID is slightly under control, so it would have reopened. So you'll have evenings and weekends. Okay? If you're a repeater and say hypothetically you're not working, then you have all the day. The whole day. And in case you are working, then also you can go ahead and decide weekends and late nights, okay? So this is the right time to start your preparation. Don't delay it any longer. 8 months is a sweet spot. However, how do we go ahead cracking CAT, okay? So can I kickstart? I'm waiting for you all to go ahead and tell me yes, then I'll go ahead and start. So I want to hear yeses. It seems a bit tough for working professionals. I was a working professional. If I go back, first time I wrote CAT was CAT 2011 for admission into 2012-14. I was actually working, 13, 14 months into my work, and I was doing that. So ask me, first hand experience dunga, okay? Yes, okay, I hear quite a few yeses. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm very excited. Hopefully we have fun. Let's kickstart today's session, okay? Let's start off with the CAT basic modalities. I can see your messages, Ruby. Don't worry. I hope you can hear me, okay? So CAT basic modalities. What are the important things to keep in mind? Point number 1, what is the paper pattern? Now, as per CAT 2021, the paper pattern has 66 questions. Now, if we go ahead and we look at CAT previously, a year or so before that, CAT 2020, it had 76 questions. If we look at CAT even before that, it had 100 questions. So if I'm looking at it, we are somewhere in the midst of 66 to 100, my understanding. Last year in CAT 21, they went ahead and they've hit a sweet spot. I think 66 in a 2-hour paper is optimal. I think IIM Ahmedabad did a brilliant job. Generally you'll hear most of us come out and, complain to others and come out and state this I am made this error, CAT made this error. No, I think CAT 2021 was great. Aditya, we can't see each other messages. Cool. Hear me, listen to my messages, listen to my voice. I think that should be good enough. Yeah, the messages are private, okay? The messages are private, so hear me, okay? Just listen to my messages, okay? Okay, 66, 76, 100. My expectation, CAT 22, I think they'll still go ahead and look at it from the perspective of a 2-hour paper, which means 66 questions is what we can expect. The breakup last year was 24 in verbal, 20 in DILR and 22 in Quant. The good part, I've already enrolled in the BYJU'S CAT course in Feb. I haven't gotten a call. So, you know, if you've not gotten a call already, what you can do is you can go ahead and pinpoint that to Tanishka, Abhishek, or you can go ahead and right at the end of this session, you can go ahead and drop me a WhatsApp and I'll get somebody from the team to give you a call, okay? We'll have the onboarding team give you a call, okay? So, yeah, let's come back to where I was. Now, overall, if you look at it, out of these 24 questions in verbal, 16 questions were RC. 16 were RC. It clearly tells you 2/3 of the paper was RC. That's what matters. Out of the 20 in DILR, you are looking at 4 sets. Now, you all know, all of those who've gone ahead and started preparing, that 4 sets means 2 sets of 4 questions each and 2 sets of 6 questions each. That's 20 questions, okay? So 2 sets. 22 in Quant, basically the distribution across arithmetic, algebra, numbers, geometry and modern math, something that we'll go ahead and discuss in the Quant section, okay? Cool, lovely. Now let's look at what are the important dates. So this was the paper pattern, important dates. First and foremost, you can expect that in July last week, the CAT notification would be out. That means in the last week, they'll come out and tell you when exactly CAT would take place in 2022. Expected date, 27th November. Expected date is 27th November. So Ashwit is asking, can we expect a 3-hour paper? According to me, I don't think so. I still think it might be a 2-hour paper until they go ahead and categorically state COVID khatam hai. Now, you know, from now till CAT is like 7 months. So that's a long time, 7 to 8 months that we're talking about. So we don't know what will happen in between. Fingers crossed, there's no 4th wave, 5th wave and so on and so forth. If things are fine, they might revert, but I think 2 hours they've hit a sweet spot, okay? Can you see your messages? Hardik, I can see your messages. I can hear it. I can see everybody's messages. Don't worry, okay? Okay, the next important date will be in August when they will go ahead and open the window for you to go ahead and actually apply for CAT 22, which means the registration starts in the first week of August. Post that, September, okay? In September, you will go ahead and, in the last 2 weeks, somewhere around the last 2 weeks, you will go ahead and, the last date of the CAT form filling and the correction window will open up. Please keep in mind when you go ahead and fill up the form, don't make errors because in the correction window, there are very few things that they will ask you to go ahead and edit, okay? So Abhishek, like I pointed out, end of the session, you can just drop me a ping or something, or you can share your number and we'll get somebody to call you back, okay? But end of the session, otherwise I'll forget by the end of the session, okay? Coming back to where I was. So next, October 22, now this is going to play a very important role. In October, they will come out with a sample paper. The sample paper won't be important. The sample paper won't be important, but the pattern of the sample paper might be important, okay? In the pattern, they might actually go ahead and, give you a glimpse into whether it will be 66, 76, so on and so forth. However, having said that, last year, for CAT 21 in the sample paper, they did not have 66 questions. That was a surprise. First slot people were in for a surprise when they got to know 66. Now, when the number of questions reduce, that is a pleasant surprise. If the number of questions increase, that is an unpleasant surprise. You will surely know the number of hours earlier. Why? Because it will be mentioned in your admit card, but the paper pattern may or may not be revealed before the actual exam date, okay? So please be aware of that. Okay, and finally, November is when you can go ahead and expect the CAT to take place, which is, as I pointed out, 27th of November is what we're expecting, which is the last Sunday of November. That also means that the very next Sunday, which is probably going to be around the 4th of December, is also going to be IIFT, which means 2 back-to-back exams. You're going to go ahead and 2 back-to-back Sundays, you're going to go ahead and have CAT and IIFT, okay? Very important. Now let's get into the interesting part. We've got the operational thing out of the way. We've got the modalities out of the way. Anybody worrying about when it will happen? Is IMB conducting the exam this year? Well, it's not been announced. There is a high probability that will happen because they generally go ahead and do it A, B, C, and they turn around. However, in between there were 2 back-to-back years where Indore did it, okay? So let's not go ahead and jump the gun. Let's wait to hear. Swagata, sir, मैं अभी BCom 3rd year में पढ़ रही हूँ. क्या मैं अभी CAT exam दे सकती हूँ? Yes, Swagata, you're in BCom 3rd year. Okay, so BCom third year basically means this is your final year which has just started. So you can go ahead and write CAT in November this year. Abhishek, as I pointed out, please share your number towards the end of the exam, towards the end of the session. I'll also pinpoint to my teammate here, Jaisimha, if you could just note down that number and we'll share it with the team to give you a call post the session. Okay, somebody from the team will get in touch with you by tomorrow. Okay, let's get back to where I am. So some Shubhi is saying, what about non-CAT? So non-CAT exams, if you want to understand the calendar starts with NMAT. NMAT generally starts early October, okay? NMAT generally starts early October. After NMAT, in all probability, the second exam, okay, I think the screen's stuck. We are back again, okay? So NMAT starts in October. I hope I'm audible. I think the screen had gotten stuck. Now you're able to see, right? Okay. So NMAT starts in October. Post that, you know, you'll have CAT. CAT will be the next exam which you will look at last Sunday of November. This is going to be CAT. After that is going to be IFT, first Sunday of December. Post that, okay, now NMAT, it starts in October. NMAT actually has almost a 3-month window. The exam continues right towards the end, almost till December. Sometimes there is extended dates, it will go until Jan. Then you'll have SNAP. Now the SNAP exam has also become best 2 out of 3. That means you are able to write the exam twice and they will take the best score. The exam is conducted thrice. You are able to write it twice and they will take the best out of the 2. It generally starts from the third Sunday. Third Sunday of December is going to be SNAP. So ZAT is going to be the first Sunday of January, as long as the first Sunday is not 1st of Jan. So ZAT, first Sunday of Jan, as long as the first Sunday is not 1st of Jan, okay? TIS, generally it happens in and around ZAT, but this year it was delayed. It happened towards the end of February, so difficult to state. I'll just state it will happen either in Jan or Feb. Okay, there is MyCat as well, which is for students interested in MICA. You know, if you're you have a bent towards advertising, if you're looking at marketing, MICA is a very, very good institute. You know, it's at Ahmedabad. It's a brilliant institute. You should look at that. That exam happens twice as well, once in December, and the next time that it will happen will be in Feb. So MyCat. Then there are other exams. There will be regional exams. You'll have MHCET. You'll have it somewhere around March every year. So these are predominantly most of the non-CAT exams. Some of you all were asking about that, so I've gone ahead and written that, okay? Okay, sir, मैं एग्जाम के बारे में डिटेल्स जानना चाहती हूँ आपके साथ पर्सनली बात करके. Okay, yeah, we can get in touch. I'll give my number towards the end of this session. You can ping me on WhatsApp and we can set up a time for a call, okay, later on. We'll do all of that. And you can go ahead and focus a little bit more on what I'm stating. CMAT लोग बोल रहे हैं, CMAT miss कर दिया, sorry. CMAT also is in March, is in April this year. I think 9th of April, okay. CMAT this year is on 9th of April. For 2022, once again, it could be expected around March or April. So March or April. So I've kind of covered almost all. There are a few others, XGMAT hoga and so on and so forth. I'm not writing everything down, but you understand. You basically get a fair idea of what are the different exams that you can look at. CAT is very, very important. Ensure sab log CAT likhna. Ensure NMAT, IFT, SNAP, ZAT. These, you know, 5 exams everybody should write from TISNET, MyCat, MHCET, CMAT. It depends upon you. Okay. Ashutosh, we will get into that. 2-3 hours every day is a long time. You know, we are talking about 250 hours or so to go. 250 days, if you can put 2 or 3 hours, we are talking about 500 to 750 hours. That's a long time, okay? You can surely go ahead and crack CAT using that. So don't worry too much. Let's actually get into the analytics, which is something which I told you that we should focus on. First and foremost, overall analytics dekhte hain. For some of you all, you know, I'm very, very comfortable in English, but if you want, I can repeat things in Hindi. So do let me know if you want me to go ahead and, you know, use a mixture of English and Hindi. I will use a mixture of that. If you're not comfortable with Hindi, let me know and I'll, you know, once again translate everything and state it in English. So I'll use a mixture of both because I'm getting a few questions coming up in Hindi as well. So dono mein jawab dunga. Okay? I hope that's comfortable and fine by all of you all. So structure dekhte hain. Let's have a look at the structure of CAT 2021 slot wise. Now this is something that most of you all would be aware of till here. 66. The interesting part is here. The interesting part is difficulty level, okay? So Mohammed, I already told you there'll be multiple regional exams. KCET, Kerala will have it, Karnataka will have it. There'll be multiple other regional exams. I won't go ahead and write it down for everybody. There'll be almost 10-15 more exams I'll have to cater to. But overall, in terms of the number of aspirants writing specific exams and in terms of an exam being slightly more national, these are predominantly the exams that we are looking at. Okay. What is my advice for fresh aspirants to sit for CMAT? Yeah, so if you've not sat for any exam this year, CMAT 2022, you want to go ahead and experience it in April, you can. But CMAT paper is very, very different from any other paper. It's not that you will go ahead and, sit for CMAT and it will give you an inkling into CAT, ZAT, IFT and so on and so forth. वो नहीं होगा. ठीक है, you CMAT लिख सकते हो April 7th को, but that is not going to hold you in good stead for the other exams. Okay, so Janga, what I'll do is I'll talk in English and Hindi. Some people are stating they're finding English a little tough, but yeah, I'll ensure I don't miss out on anything and I'll state everything in English as well. Okay, okay, I'm a working professional, 8 months good enough? Yes, good enough. We'll talk about all of that. Relax, don't worry. Okay, will MHCT happen this year, Aditya? Yes, it will happen. When, we don't know. Last year it happened somewhere around September. So this year also it is expected that it will be slightly delayed. Okay, so it will surely happen. Now let's get back to what I was stating. Okay, the difficulty level. Okay, difficulty level. Let's have a look at that. Look at slot 1. Now slot 1, almost all 3 sections we are coming out and saying moderate, moderate, moderate. The bigger problem for slot 1, is the element of surprise. Elements of surprise. Why? Because they were the first ones who had no idea. The exam started and then they look at, oh, it's 66 questions. Oh, it's broken up into 24, 20 and 22. I had no idea. Okay, so slot 1, element of surprise, and that generally works in this concept of normalization. What normalization is, I will talk about over the next couple of slides. I have a slide on that, so don't worry, hold your horses. Next, slot 2, and this is where the game changer came up in slot 2. In slot 2, the game changer predominantly was DILR. इतना simple DILR last 5 years में आया नहीं. This was the simplest DILR over the last 5 to 6 years. This became the game changer. Those who did not realize that this is very, very easy and I need to go ahead and attempt slightly more and my accuracy needs to be good, they suffered here. And I will show that once again in the normalization part. Finally, slot 3, and once again look here. Slot 3 overall, if I look at it from the perspective of slot 1, actually slot 3 was slightly easier. Moderate to difficult, it seemed. Why? Because it was towards the latter half of the day, but English was much, much easier, easy to moderate. Slot 3 was actually slightly easier, but by the time slot 3 came, people had gone ahead and heard so much about slot 1 and slot 2 that they went into the exam with preconceived notions, and that impacted them, because of which slot 3 marks also went down. So if I'm looking at it from a totality perspective, slot 1, element of surprise. Slot 2, the game changer was DILR. It turned out to be very easy. Slot 3, people had spoken to too many people from slot 1 and 2. Don't do that. I had stated this in my session 7 days before CAT as well. Don't go ahead and talk to anybody before your actual CAT exam, okay? Because that doesn't help, and that's exactly something that happened here. Before I go to the next slide, I'll pick up a few questions. Is there a difference in MHCET and CAT exam? MHCET is much easier, but it's a timed exam. Is there a difference between CMAT and CAT? CMAT is probably the easiest exam, amongst all. बहुत easy होता है. You will have no problems at all. Those of you all who are saying you want to talk to me personally, don't worry. At the end of the session, I'll give you a means to go ahead and either connect with me or somebody in the team. So don't worry about that. Okay. So all of you all who are worried about, so what is the exam for CMAT 2022? It has already been divulged. Please go ahead and have a look at it. 25 into 4 if I'm not wrong. There's also a section called Innovation and Entrepreneurship. We are actually having a series on YouTube related to innovation and entrepreneurship. Go ahead and have a look at it. So I have 2 years of job experience. Is it fine? I had about 13-14 months as well. So it's absolutely fine. Don't worry at all. Okay. Snap and CAT, which is hard, CAT. So if you want to understand level of difficulties, the most difficult exam would be ZAT. followed closely by one of IFT or CAT. IFT because IFT में one of the sections between DI and LR always turns out to be slightly difficult, so it becomes difficult. Otherwise, in general, CAT is probably the most competitive exam, which makes it more difficult. Okay? Can you explain the different slots? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay? The different slots in CAT in 2021, there were 3 different slots. One was in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. Second was in the afternoon, 12:30 to 2:30. Final one was in the evening, 4:30 to 6:30. So there were 3 different slots. Across these slots, these were the 3 different things that were observed. Slot number 1, element of surprise, but paper overall moderate. Slot number 2, paper slightly easier because DILR was easier. Slot number 3, paper not as difficult, but because they had spoken to people in slot 1 and 2, lot of preconceived notions and it didn't work out, it ended up looking difficult. What did that imply from a score versus percentile perspective? Let's have a look at it. If I'm looking at it from the perspective of the entirety of score versus percentile, I want you to focus on 2 things. Okay, I want you to focus on 2 things. Number 1, focus on this. 70 percentiles, my friend. 70 percentile. Okay, 70 percentile was only at a score of 36 over the last 2 years. Now, all of y'all who are preparing for the very first time, if I turn around and I tell you, 2-hour exam, 40 minutes per section, in each section, go ahead and attempt only 3 to 4 questions. If I just tell you without preparation, 40 minutes में 3-4 question करने हैं, do you have the confidence that in 40 minutes 3 to 4 questions you'll be able to solve? Yes or no? Just 3 to 4 questions in 40 minutes, which means 12 questions in the entire paper in 2 hours. Do you have that much confidence? I am confident enough for all of y'all that all of y'all will have confidence. If I tell you 40 minutes में 3 to 4 questions, nothing more than that, will you have the confidence, yes or no? Pragati, okay, no problem if you're weak in maths. 40 minutes में 3-4 questions, yes or no? I'm telling you 10 to 12 minutes per question. If I ask you, today I'm giving you the CAT paper, 3 to 4 questions every 40 minutes. कर पाओगे कि नहीं? यार, I am telling you, I am confident. Mayank is saying, Avni is saying. What about the others? I want to hear from Mo. I am quite sure all of you are confident enough that you'll be able to do this. Neha, Lijo, Avni, Mayank. What about the others? I am 100% sure that if you pick up the actual CAT 2021 paper, give it to all of you all right now, say you haven't had a look at it, and I tell you every 40 minutes, just solve 3 to 4 questions, you will be able to. That means, even without preparation, guys, even without preparation, all of you all are at 70 percentile. You are better than 70% of the people writing the exam. Now 8 months mein, it is about going from 70 to 99. So the challenge is not 0 to 99. Challenge is 70 to 99. Does that give you a little bit of confidence? Does that give you a little bit of confidence? कि यार ये तो सही बोल रहा है. Without thinking anything, if I become Virat Kohli, now everybody knows who Virat Kohli is. Do you know in ODIs, his average while chasing, when you are going ahead and a target is set and you have to chase, his average is 70 plus. But while batting first, his average falls down. Late 40s, early 50s. Why? Because while chasing, he knows the score that he needs to chase. That is exactly what you all need to do. I am telling you today. मैं आज लिख के, I'll sign it on a blank piece of paper and I'll tell you. Okay? I will sign it on a blank piece of paper and I'll tell you. In every section in CAT, if it's a 2-hour paper, just solve 4 to 5 questions, get all of them right. If you solve 5 each, which means 5 into 3, 15 questions. That will mean 45 marks because it's plus 3. You would have even scored an 80 percentile. Just imagine! 80 percentile ho jata. 5 questions in each section. I am telling you, you all do not realize you are already studs, yaar. You are already studs. Pressure bahut lete ho. Society comes and tells us CAT is difficult. We talk to seniors, they say, you know, I studied 20 hours a day. You talk to somebody else, he comes out and says, I did not study at all and I scored 99. Stop talking to people. Stop talking to people. Andar dekho. You are all very, very capable and you will crack it. So without even looking at anything, I can tell you 80 percentile means 5 questions in 40 minutes. If you are able to solve 4 to 5 questions in 40 minutes in each section, you are better than 80% of the people writing CAT. ठीक है? Pooja 70 percentile तो आज हो जाओगे ना? Pooja. So Pooja is saying, but 70 percentile से top B school मिलेगा. Which means, will I get a top B school from 70 percentile? Are you looking at a top B school today, Pooja, or are you looking at a top B school 7 months down the line after the November exam? I am saying as of today you can get 70. As of today. So in 7 months, can you go from 70 to a 90 or a 95 or not? Can you go from a 70 to a 99, 99.5, 99.9 or not? That is the question. You are already on the path for a top B school. Rasta shuru ho gaya hai. Will you go ahead and get there or not is dependent upon the next 7 to 8 months. Am I clear? Am I clear? Getting confident, feeling that we can do it, we can crack it. Yes, this exam is for us because it is for each and every one of you. Forget this part. Forget this part. I'll come back and talk about this part again 3 months down the line. Okay? 3 months ke baad, we will talk about 90 plus. As of today, we are sitting here in March. I want you to focus on March, April, May and June. 4 months. 3.5 to 4 months. Talk about 70 to 90 percentile. Matlab, ab dekho. Now what is it I'm stating? What is it I'm stating? As of today, you feel you can attempt 4 questions per section, which means 12 questions overall and score 36, which is 70 percentile. Now 90 percentile is 59. 59 is more or less, if I divide it by 3, 20 questions, yes or no? 59 is 20 questions when I divide it by 3, right? Because so 20 questions you need to get right. Now 20 questions in the entire paper. 20 questions in the entire paper. The paper has 3 sections divided by 3. That means 6 to 7 questions per section. So now the question to you is, if you are already sitting here, at about 4 questions, if you are already sitting here at about 4 questions per section, can you go from 4 questions per section to 6 to 7 questions per section in a matter of 3.5 to 4 months? That means over the course of the next 105 to 110 days, can you just start attempting and getting 2 more questions right per section? Are you understanding the goal I'm giving you? As of today, without preparation, you are saying I can get 4 questions right per section. I am saying preparation ke saath, with a little bit more preparation, over the course of the next 3.5 months, can you go from 4 questions per section to 6 to 7 questions? Can you or can't you? If I tell you over the next 100 to 105 days, join us, we are in a program, we'll meet you thrice a week, 4 times a week, we'll have sessions, we'll give you recorded sessions, we'll give you mocks, we'll give you topic tests, we'll give you sectional tests, we'll give you a study plan, we'll tell you which topics to focus on. 4 se 6 पहुंचेंगे कि नहीं? 4 to 6, 2 questions more per section in 105 days. That means all of y'all have the capability of being around 90 percentile, even before the CAT notification is out. Remember, CAT notification will come out in July. I just gave you a goal till June. That means even before the notification, all of y'all are going to have collar up. Hey, I'm a stud, yeah. I'm already at a 90 percentile. Why? Because I knew which were the topics to focus on. Clear? Motivated? Sounds like it's doable. Yes or no, guys? Somebody is asking CMAT and CAT syllabus similar. Syllabus more or less similar in quant and verbal. Reasoning is difficult, and there is a different section called innovation and entrepreneurship in CMAT which doesn't come in CAT. Are we confident? Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? I will talk about a very specific strategy that you will need to follow. In 3 months, can we go from 4 questions per section to 6 to 7 questions per section? Yes or no? That's all. Aur kuch nahi karna. And the program that we will have here at BYJU'S Exam Prep focuses on just that. We will only pick up those kind of topics. So how's the Josh? I hear Gaurang saying hi, Josh. Once again, how's the Josh? So Ishita is saying, so basically we target 90 percentile till June. I will rephrase that. I will say target it score wise. So till June, target a score of in and around 60. Which means look at a score of in and around 15 to 20 per section. High. Okay, I like to hear this. The Josh is high, right? Great. So I am telling you the target is 15 to 20 marks per section. Don't look at the target as percentile. Are we clear? Makes sense, right? Let's look at marks. Percentile ho jayega. Percentile will take care of itself. In our hand is marks. We will focus on marks. 15 to 20 marks. 15 marks means 5 questions. 20 marks means 6 to 7 questions, about 7. So we will try ranging between 5 to 7 questions, attempting and getting all correct till June. Clear? Cool. Now, some of you all were talking about normalization, slot wise farak kya hota hai. I have that here. Let me showcase something to you. Let's look at slot 1. Now, in CAT, there is a concept of raw score and scaled score. Raw score क्या होता है? Imagine I attempt 7 questions in verbal, okay? I attempt 7, I get 6 right and 1 wrong. Now, the marking scheme is 6 into 3 plus 1 into minus 1, because for every wrong answer, you get minus 1. So, the marks will be 6 into 3, 18, minus 1, which means 17 marks. So, my raw score would be 17. My raw score would be 17. Clear? So Swastik, you can't decide which section to attempt first. It's in a specific pattern. First section will be verbal, second section DILR, third section quant. Okay. Coming back to where I was. So there are going, say you attempt 7 questions, get 6 right, 1 wrong, raw score 17. Normalized score means you might have written the exam in slot 1. Somebody else will write slot 2, slot 3 and so on and so forth. Okay. So slot 2 and slot 3 will the exam be equally difficult? Will it be easier? We have no idea. Hence, once all the 3 papers are done and they go ahead and start looking at the marks across the 3 slots, then they turn around and normalize. So for example, in slot 1, what happened? Somebody who scored 17 in DILR, it was scaled to 18.3. मतलब 17 मिला पर scaled score 18 हो गया, 1 mark बढ़ गया. Verbal, a 12 went to 14.5, it increased again. It increased again. Seniors are saying, you know, Manikanta is saying, seniors are saying CAT preparation is very tough for science background students. I am a science background student. Yes, I want to jump and scream that I am a mathematics honors student. Mathematics honors. I don't know if there's anybody out there, if they're high five to all of you all. I am a math honors student. Trust me, it's not easy. Having said that, we cracked it. Some of the others, forget being math honors or science students or engineering or non-engineering students, they would be working 10 to 12 hours a day. Even they crack it. I have so many of my students this year who are working 10, 12 hours a day, McKinsey backend, this, that, you know, their jobs, startups, working 12 hours a day. They also crack it. It is not difficult. It is not difficult. It is like a bubble. You know, in India, there was this concept of startup bubble. Every second startup is becoming a unicorn. At some point or the other, it is bound to burst, right? It is bound to happen. Having said that, those who focus on their basics and their core and have clear-cut information and have clear-cut aspirations of helping society and know what their positioning is, they will succeed. That's all that I want you to do. Don't focus on the hullabaloo in and around you. Only focus on what it is that you want to do, your goal. And the goal that we've just discussed till June end is, can we attempt 6 to 7 questions and get them all right? That's it. Accuracy pe focus karo, attempts pe nahi. Is that clear? Stop talking to seniors, stop talking to outsiders, talk to me. I'm ready to talk. Okay? But focus, you know, trust me, this is not a game, this is not a joke. There was a session I took, last year, somewhere around September end, 60 days to CAT. This year, when it's 60 days to CAT, once again, I'll take it. In case you have time, go ahead and look at that session on YouTube. And I'm sure if some of y'all who wrote CAT 21, you look at some of the stuff that I stated there, you will realize that what I stated and what actually came in CAT, there was a huge overlap. And it is not difficult. CAT can be predicted, but it can be predicted if you look at it logically rather than looking at it emotionally. Is that clear? Is that clear? So this is what scaling means. Similarly, Quant 51 went down. That means Quant was slightly easier. Quant was slightly easier in slot 1 as compared to others. Okay? Okay? Cool? Ruby saying everyone says it's easy for them. I am not saying it's easy for me, Ruby. I am not saying it's easy. I am not saying it's difficult. I am saying the answer of easy or difficult is a very relative answer which is based on how you are looking at the exam. Okay? Are you going ahead and preparing for it seriously? If you are and you're putting in the time and you are consistent. It's like I want to play cricket, okay? I want to represent India. I can't represent India by stating 2 months before the tryouts I will start practicing. No, I will practice for 6, 8, 10 months day in and day out every day. I won't practice 10 hours a day, I might practice 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, but I'll practice every day. I am saying ensure there is consistency and you'll do well. Clear? Clear, Ruby? Clear? Most of the students are from science. I want to catch that as well. Actually, that's incorrect. Of the 1.85 lakh students, who wrote CAT this year, engineers were close to about 95,000. Non-engineers were close to about 85,000. Almost a 55:45 ratio, almost a 1:1 ratio. So engineer versus non-engineer both come, okay? So let's look at the scale up, scale down concept which I am stating. Imagine I write verbal in slot 1, I attempt 4 questions, I get all right, it's 12. People go ahead and write the exam in slot 2 and slot 3. When you go ahead and look at the average marks in slot 1 versus slot 2 versus slot 3, you look at the standard deviation of marks in slot 1 versus slot 2 versus slot 3, you realize slot 1 was difficult. What you go ahead and do is, then you start plotting that on a normal distribution curve. You don't want to get into that, okay? Don't get into a normal distribution curve and how that happens, but you do that, and what you realize is, on an average, students who are scoring in 12 in slot 1 might have scored somewhere around 14 in slot 2 or slot 3. Might have gone ahead and scored somewhere around 14 in slot 2 and slot 3 because slot 2 and slot 3 was slightly easier than slot 1. That is called normalization. Hence 12 moves to 14.5. Clear? That's it. Hello sir, I have to start everything from basics. Please also take up how should people like me start to prepare. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Riti. When I get into the study plan and when I get into the analytics section wise, you will understand that. Okay, I'm going to focus on that. Let's move to slot 2. What happened? Something very, very similar. Look here. 28 moved to 29.44. Matlab, once again, verbal in slot 2 was slightly difficult. That is why it was scaled up. Slot 1, verbal scaled up. Slot 2, verbal scaled up. Okay, let's look at DILR. 17 went to 18.3 in slot 1. Look at slot 2. Remember, I had told you in slot 2 DILR was easier than the other slots. Look at this. Somebody who scored 60 out of 60, and we have a faculty here, Pranav, who teaches you DILR. He scored 60 out of 60 in DILR, which is no mean achievement. It's very, very difficult. But somebody who scored 60 out of 60, even his or her score actually went down to a 55.29. That means on an average, the DILR section of slot 2 was so much easier that the marks reduced by almost 5 marks. So this was the easiest section of DILR across these 3 slots. I am doing BBA. Can I do this? Obviously you can. Why can't you? Why can't you? There is no reason, whether you are engineering, non-engineering, BBA, zoology, math honors, whether you are, civil, whether you are mechanical, whether you are chemical, whatever you are, yeah, you can do it. Whether you are psychology honors, English honors, you can do it. Why can't you? Does scale-up score increase the score? Yes, it does. It does. For example, look here. In slot 1, this person who had 80, eventually he or she scored an 82.73. So obviously that will increase. Okay? Sir, I can't join the class more because of network issues. Hard luck. Hopefully you will be able to catch this in the video format. Can you tell how I prepare for quant, as there are a lot of sections there? I'll get to that, Saurabh. Don't worry. I'll get to each subsection as well. Okay, we'll talk about it. Okay? It means abhi sirf score par focus karna. Absolutely right, Ashita. It means as of now only focus on score and nothing else. Just forget normalization, forget percentile. It doesn't matter. Forget all of it. Just focus on score. Similarly, slot 3, look at what happened. Verbal 38 scaled down, it went down because verbal was much easier than the other 2 slots. DILR 28 scaled up, it went up by 5 marks. So DILR in slot 3 was the most difficult. Quant 36 scaled up by 3 marks. So if you look at slot 3, Quant scaled up by +3, DILR scaled up by +5, verbal scaled down by -4 or say -3. Net, it was a scale up of +5 marks. If you look at slot 1, the net scale up is about +3 marks. And if you look at slot 2, the net scale down is almost 3 marks. Which means slot 1 up by 3 marks, slot 2 down by 3 marks, slot 3 up by 5 marks. Okay, so that's how normalization works. Overall, what we realized, verbal, easiest section slot 3, most difficult slot 1. DILR easiest section slot 2, most difficult slot 3. Quant easiest section slot 1, most difficult slot 3. In general, you will realize slot 2 was not prevalent in the difficult section at all, which is why slot 2 mein dekho -3 you are. People who scored 99, their mark went down to 96. If you scored 120, your mark went down to 117 and so on and 7. Okay? Somebody saying, how answering 7 to 8 60 mark questions in each section gets me 80 percentile. Okay. Akash, if you answer 7 to 8 questions in each section, okay. So in each section, say you answer 7 to 8 and you get all of them right. Let me assume, say you answer 7 and get all of them right. Okay. So if you get all of them right, to 7 into 3, 21 marks hoga per section. 21 marks per section. There are 3 sections, so multiplied by 3. You get 63 marks. If you remember my previous slide where I've gone ahead and stated 90 percentile was 59, 63 will actually mean somewhere around 91, 92 percentile. Clear? Got it? You'll not get 80, you'll get 91, 92 percentile. Clear? Cool? So Mohammed is saying I scored 42 percentile last year without any preparation. So had you just heard me a little bit once before going into the exam now and just gotten a little bit more motivated and had a little more confidence and attempted only 4 to 5 questions in every section and got them right, Mohammed, forget 42, you would have probably scored 70 or 80 percentile without any preparation. So don't worry. Scaled mark is normalized mark, Pragati, like I explained. You go ahead in your slot, you score 12. Finally, when all 3 slots are over, they judge your slot ka paper with respect to the other 2 slots and they turn around and state, your first slot was slightly more difficult than the other 2 slots. They scale your marks up. Score of 12 in slot 1 is like 14 in slot 2, scale up ho jata hai. Clear? That's how it goes. Without prep, I scored 50 percentile in Snap last year. Hope this year will be good. Great, that's a good start. All the very best. Now, what this basically means, like I told you, is the level of difficulty. Now let's get into the analytics section wise, okay? Let's start off with the verbal analytics, and this is going to be very, very interesting. If I look at the verbal section over the years, last year we know that the number of questions was 24. The year before that, we know it was 26. The year before that, it used to be 34 and so on and so forth. One thing is consistent. Every year, the weightage to reading comprehension is almost 2/3 of the entire paper, which means about 66 to 67% of the paper is reading comprehension. Somebody is asking, I'm in family business, can I state that as work experience? If you actually work there, if you have pay slips to prove that, if you go ahead and showcase, the first and last month pay slip and a joining letter, you can use it, okay? They will want proof for everything that you put out there. So, let's get deeper into, we know 2/3 of the paper is reading comprehension. But do we know that most of these reading comprehensions, number one, they come from which genres? Genre का मतलब क्या है? Genre means does it come from literature, psychology, sociology, economics, business and economy? It comes from what type of genre? History, zoology, कहाँ से आता है? Genre. Second is, what are the sources? Where do they pick up these RCs from? Can I go ahead and start reading articles from the sources from where they pick up RCs in CAT? These are the 2 questions to be answered and I'll pick both of them up, okay? Swagata is saying, sir, percentage or percentile alag hai. Are percentage and percentile different? Yes, they are different. Percentage means if our paper is out of 100 marks, you score 70 marks, you score 70% marks. Percentile means, what does percentile means? Percentile means when you scored 70 marks, okay, if there are say 1000 students who wrote the exam, how many students scored more than 70 and how many below 70? Imagine 200 students scored less than 70. If 200 students scored less than 70 out of 1000, that means you scored more than 800 students. You scored greater than equal to 800 students out of 1000. So you are better than 800 out of 1000 students. That means 80% of the students you are better than. That means your percentile is 80. Percentile means what percentage of the students you have scored more than. That is your percentile. Percentage means absolute marks. How many marks have you scored out of the total? Understood the difference? Okay. So what about no work-ex? No problem. There are close to almost every year about 35 to 40% of the students who are freshers who get into the top B schools. So big deal. Okay. So don't worry about it at all. Okay. Let's move on. So now the question was, which genres are important? Just look at the kind of analysis we've done. We've gone ahead and looked at all. We've gone ahead and looked at every single RC that came from 2016 to 22, and we've clubbed it into genres. Ishita, what you're talking about is source. I'm talking about genre. Okay, let's look at the genre. And don't focus on this graph. Rather focus on this table because it's going to be helpful. Let's look at where the RCs came from, and you will realize most of the questions in RCs actually came from sociology and anthropology. 51 questions over the last 5 years. Why am I looking at questions? Because every year the pattern changes. Some year it's 5 question RC, some year 6 questions, some year 4 years. So it keeps changing. So the total number of questions that came from sociology and anthropology, 51 questions. Science and technology, 33 questions. Zoology and biology, 28 questions. History, 21 questions. So if I just look at this, if I just look at sociology, anthropology, science, technology, zoology, biology and history, close to almost 2/3, or not even, let's not say 2/3, but I would say close to about 50 to 55% of all the RCs that have come in the last 5 years have been from these genres. Last 5 to 6 years, only from these genres, which means my input to y'all, you need to start reading a lot. So from where should you read? You should go ahead and read, RCs of these genres. Read up on sociology and anthropology. Read up on science and technology. Read up on zoology and biology. Read up on history. Some of y'all who are saying we are from zoology, advantage to y'all. Why? Because zoology say a lot of passages come. Some of you, if you're from history or science or technology, advantage, passages come from there. The other genres from where passages come, very, very few, stuff like archaeology and so on and so forth, this you can forget for now. You don't need to worry. So the biggest takeaway that I can give you is that 21 out of 54, that means almost 40% of all the passages came from Aeon, NYT, Guardian and Smithsonian. Aeon, NYT, Guardian and Smithsonian, something that, I think Ishita pointed out. Kudos to you, Ishita, great. Read a lot from here. And close to 50 to 55% of the passages, 50 to 55% of the passages came from science, technology, sociology, anthropology, zoology, biology and history. Mohit is saying, why are you not taking my question? Because I can't take everybody's question when I'm talking, Mohit. Have patience. Have patience. Ask me when I take a break. Okay, or keep repeating the question, sometime I'll pick it up, okay? It's just too difficult. There is a lot that I want to cover here in order to help all of you all as well, okay? So coming back to where I am, 2 takeaways that I want you all to look at. Number 1, start reading from the following sources: Aeon, AEON, NYT, Guardian and Smithsonian. From these sources, read up on sociology, anthropology, science, technology, zoology, biology and history. Okay, is work gap okay? Yes, it is. No problem at all. Books, Pooja, forget it. I've given you the sources to focus on. No books. This is an online exam. I don't focus on books at all. I will tell you online. But if you're desperate, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis will help you a lot. Okay. But please read everything online, because the actual passage will come online. Then you have to answer. There is a major difference between reading something online and answering, reading something offline and answering. Please don't do that. Okay? Is work gap okay? It's okay. I am below average. I want to score 100 percentile. It's fine. But don't target 100 percentile. Take shorter term targets. Till June 90. Till August 95. Till October 99. Then in November, can I go from 99 to a 99.5, 100, so on. Heard most people say they were slow in RC. What is reading speed? Nandu, did you hear me right up front? If you would have attempted 6 or 7 questions, you would have probably gone ahead and scored close to about 90 percentile overall. If you look at RCs also, or verbal section, you will see every year between 25 to 30 marks is a 90 percentile. That means getting 8 to 10 questions right and you can still go ahead and get a 90 percentile. Okay, that means reading speed is not that important. 8 to 10 questions. Some people just feel they have to attempt everything. That is why they feel reading speed is important. My recommendation, you have enough time to read. Start reading from these sources. Automatically your reading speed will improve. But don't get too desperate about that. Okay, do we have to check online for all those resources? Yes, Kritika, all of these are available online. NYT is New York Times, Aeon available online. Yes. How can we analyze what percentile we are right now? Don't need to worry about Shijali. All you need to do is take a mock test, BYJU'S exam prep app. Just take a demo mock test. Just see how many marks you score. Map it to the table that I had shown earlier. If you score overall 36 marks, you are at 70 percentile. If you score overall 60 marks, you are at 90 percentile. Something like that. Is it practice? If you practice 2 to 3 RCs per day, that's brilliant. 2 to 3 RCs per day is exactly what I will talk about when I move to the study plan. Okay. Will we provide a recording for this session? It depends. If there is a lot of interaction and most of you will ask for it, we might actually go ahead and provide the recording in this app itself. Okay. So it depends. If you like the session, go ahead and say hell yeah and we'll provide it. Okay. I am working as a project manager in dev sector, experience of 5 years. Is it good to take a break and write management exam? So if your experience is 5 year, Mohit, my recommendation, don't look at a normal MBA. Look at I would go ahead and say executive MBA. That's slightly better. ISB or executive MBA from the top IIMs would be good. Okay, you can look at that. Okay, let's look at para summary. In the same way, we've gone ahead and divided entire para summary into multiple topics. Focus on linguistics, biology, literature, business and economics. These are predominantly. So these three, if you look at it, linguistics, biology, business and eco, you will go ahead and you will find this continuing in parajumbles. Once again, biology, linguistics, okay, and once again you will find this even in odd sentence parajumble, biology, linguistics, which means my basic takeaway to all of you all is going to be, okay, sir, I am still not getting what are slots here. Slots matlab, Yash, an exam happens in 3 different time slots on one day. If the exam in 2021 happened on 20th November, the first slot was morning 8:30 to 10:30, that is called morning slot. The second slot was 12:30 to 2:30, that is afternoon slot. Third slot was 4:30 to 6:30, evening slot. 3 different slots on one day. Clear? Mohit, I've already gone ahead and answered your question. Look at an executive MBA from the top IIMs or ISB, okay? I hope you've gotten that, okay? So, my takeaways, biology, linguistics, science and technology are probably the most important topics, okay, from which, we've gone ahead and seen parajumble, odd sentence parajumbles and critical reasoning, which is para summary coming from. Sources, they come from a variety of sources. Generally, they come from certain books. Once again, focus a little bit on Eon and Economist, okay? No, you don't get to choose your slot. The slot is given to you, random allocation, okay? Okay, some of you are asking for the video, we'll provide it, okay? Great. Okay, so now the important thing, which is what is the score to percentile in verbal, and like I promised almost every year, 25 to 30 gets you a 90 percentile. Look here, even last year it was 29. 29 means 9 to 10 questions. So 9 to 10 questions will provide you 90 percentile, which means reading speed is not all that important. There are 16 questions in RC and there are 8 questions which are non-RC. All I'm asking you to do is attempt 13, 14 and get about 10, 11 right and you're done, okay? I have work experience of 6 months. Can I take a break and focus on CAT? You can. You might not want to right now. Right now you can just go ahead and work for 3-4 months, prepare alongside. If you feel that you still need more time, somewhere around June you can take a drop, okay? Is it in our hand to choose? No, it's not in your hand, Piyush. How good is IIT Delhi for MBA IT? It is a good college, but IITs are not among the top 10 for MBA other than IIT Bombay, which is very, very good for operations and IT. Any better way or trick to crack parajumbles? We'll have specific sessions on each section and there we'll talk about that. Today is more about strategy. Work experience of 6 months I've spoken about. Tell us about work experience. Gaurang, work experience is not important. Zaruri nahi hai, you don't have to take it, but those with work experience, it will help you because it will give you a little bit of understanding how the corporate world actually works, okay? I am from biology agri. Do I need excess hard work compared to others? I don't think so. I don't think so because the area from which you are, there are a lot of RC topics that come from there. Other than that, you will just need to go ahead and prepare a little in terms of Quant and DILR. So practice every day basis the study plan I give you. This video has been posted on YouTube. No, it's not. It's only on the app. Only on the app. Okay. Okay. CAT analytics. Let's move to the second section. DILR. I am in commerce. How do I study this subject? By reading. Start reading. So Swagata, 2 things. If you're poor in English, you think English is an issue. Number 1, start talking in English from today. 90% of the time you'll talk wrong English, big deal. In 2 months, it will become 70% of the time wrong English. In another 2 months, it will become 50%. In 2 months after that, 20%. In 2 months after that, you'll be talking fluent English. So talk in English, it's okay. English में बात करो स्वागता. English में बात करो. Day in and day out, English में बात करो. If you make errors, big deal, no problem. Okay, don't worry about that. Talk in English day in and day out. It is not in your hand to choose your exam slots. Please keep that in mind. Also keep reading a lot. Keep reading a lot with respect to English. Some of you all wanted this table again. This table is here. Okay. Okay, I'll move to DILR. Once again, we've gone ahead and looked at DILR over the last 5 to 6 years. And we've looked at the different genres that have come in. 2 things to keep in mind. CAT focuses slightly more on LR as compared to DI because they are not looking at people who are great in calculations. They are looking at people who are great when it comes to logical thinking. So reasoning based DI भी बहुत आता है. calculation based questions, but calculation based questions dependent upon logical reasoning. Okay, Soumya, I have answered your question. Swastika, I have already shown. Ishita, SCMHRD is good from an HR perspective. Okay. Okay. So if I'm looking at it from an LRDI perspective, once again, this is the analysis. There are so many different types of topics from where questions can come. However, we don't need to look at all of this. I will go ahead and bifurcate it into 3 core very important topics which you should start preparing from today. 3 core topics that you should start today. Let's have a look at them. Number 1 is going to be reasoning based DI. Okay, get your basics of DI in place, tables, bar charts, pie graphs and so on and so forth, radar charts, line charts, so on and so forth. Get your basics of DI in place. Usme reasoning based questions will come, do that. Second is all the matrix oriented questions, which mean scheduling matrix, matrix arrangement, matrix grid. If you look at them, we are talking about 18 sets from matrix, 10 sets from reasoning based DI, and finally 6 sets from Venn diagrams, and 5 sets from hybrid games and tournaments. Which means if I'm looking at games and tournaments, I'm looking at matrix sets, I am looking at reasoning based DI, and I'm looking at Venn diagrams. If you combine all of them, you're looking at about 39 to 40 sets out of 75, which means 55% of all LRDI that has come in CAT over the last 5 years is specifically from these topics. Start your preparation here. Abhilash, this is for you. Okay, Abhilash, this is for you. You're saying, I was pathetic in the CAT exam last year, especially in DILR. This is where you start. Just pick up these topics. Okay, just pick up these topics. Sir, even if I get 99 percentile, is it necessary to pay all fees for respective institute, which is in lakhs? No, it is not. No, it is not. You don't need to go ahead and pay fees for all institutes. You will only you'll pay fees only to the institute which you finally convert after your GDPI. But you will need to pay, the fees to apply to specific institutes. So if you are looking at 99 percentile, you can look at the top 15-20 B schools. That's about it, not more than that. Okay, cool. So in DILR, my basic recommendation to you all is, number 1, first look at the topics I spoke about. Let's look at LRDI again. Neha, I'll get to that, that's there. Let's look at level of difficulty. Now look here. Look at it till here. Easy, easy, medium and medium. If I combine all of this, this is like 44 sets. Okay, 44 sets out of 75, almost 60% of all sets, are less than equal to medium level of difficulty. They are easy, easy, medium or medium. They are not medium, difficult or difficult. Less than almost 60% of sets are from that range. Hence, those who come out and tell you that it's very, very difficult, well, it's all about choosing the right sets. If you choose them, you'll do well. And I will have a session with you in probably a month's time only on DILR on how to choose sets, how to attempt the paper and so on and so forth. Okay, we'll give you input there. Would love to have your input on MB and IT. MB and IT, okay. So NITI would be great. IIT Bombay would be great. All the IIMs in terms of ABC would be great. These would be the top. Then IIT Delhi would come in. Okay, these would be your top from an IT perspective. Okay, these would be the top colleges. I've gone ahead and named about 6 to you. These would be the top 6 from an IT perspective. Okay, cool. So overall, what I want you to look at in terms of the takeaway of DILR, 2 things. Number 1, matrix reasoning based Venn diagrams and unconventional games and tournaments. Two-third, okay, 55 to 60% of the paper generally comes from here. Finally, go ahead and look at LOD, almost 55 to 60 or 60% of the paper will be less than this. So the topics which I stated are once again mentioned here: matrix, reasoning based DI, Venn diagrams and unconventional games and tournaments. Okay, okay. There are no specific sources from LRDI, kaise bhi aa jayenge. No, anybody would do it. Sir, would you suggest some good colleges in Kolkata? Well, if I'm talking about the top 20-25 colleges in India, out of that in Calcutta there are just 2. Predominantly that is going to be IIM Calcutta. Second is going to be, going ahead and looking at IIFT Calcutta. Third, if you look at it, Kharagpur perspective is IIT Kharagpur from an IT perspective. No other colleges which are great in Calcutta with respect to, the top 25 B schools. You have others, IMI and so on and so forth, but these would be the top 3. From an IT perspective, Piyush, I've already spoken about it. From a finance perspective, now you all are going to go ahead and ask me, finance bolo, marketing bolo, सब नहीं बोलूँगा, बहुत ज़्यादा बुलवा रहे हो, my throat will get parched. But from a finance perspective, currently IIM Calcutta is ranked number 2 in the world. It is ranked number 2 in the world. So obviously IIM Calcutta. JBIMS is going to be right up there. Okay, that is going to be there. IIM Ahmedabad is going to be right up there. And the other IIMs, if you start looking at it, they are very, very good. SP Jain is very, very good. Okay, so IIM Bangalore also, obviously you can put it. This might be the order that you might want to look at it. Okay, from a finance perspective. Okay, now what is the conversion? What is the conversion? Okay, is this any consulting branch in MBA? There's no consulting branch. Anuj, I've already written JBIMS, which was the second. There's no consulting branch. Consulting itself is a branch. Consulting itself is a branch. Management consulting. Top firms like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Accenture, Booz, A.T. Kearney, they come. Okay, so they are there. Finance, I've gone ahead and written already, Mahesh. You can check it out. This is the conversion, score to percentile conversion. Score to percentile conversion. Okay, this is what we have here. Now, if you look at it from an 80 percentile, I'm saying 15 marks. That means 5 questions. So anybody who would have attempted 5 questions and gotten all of them correct would have gotten 80 percentile alone in DILR as well. 40 minutes mein, basically, agar one set, if you did one set of DILR, if you did one set of 5-6 questions of DILR, you would have been between 80 and 90, 85 percentile guarantee hota, because you would have scored 18 marks. One set of 6 questions. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, lovely. Okay, I can't keep doing this. Top colleges in Pune, top in Delhi, agribusiness, can't happen. We will have a separate session on that in terms of top colleges and specialities. You don't need to look at that right now. Look at that somewhere in August, September. Right now, prepare for all the entrances. In August, September, I will take a session on that. Okay. Right now, let's focus on the strategy to crack these exams. You all are getting more worried about the B schools. वो B school तो बाद में आएगा. Form will only open in August, September, October. Why are you worrying about that? Focus on this right now. Okay, let's move to Quant. Let's look at the analytics of Quant. Now, somebody had categorically asked me, Quant, there are so many topics, how to prepare, how do I prioritize? This is going to help you. This is going to help you. If I'm looking at Quant, in terms of the overall perspective, the number of questions has fallen from 34 to 22 over the last 3 years. Now in 22, let's go ahead and look at the breakup. Now in general, the breakup is arithmetic, algebra, geometry, modern math and numbers. This is the breakup. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look at it. Let's go ahead and have a look at it. And arithmetic will in general turn out to be the most important subsection under Quant. Let's see why. If you look at this, you will see that over the last 3 years, here it is out of 34 questions, here it is out of 24 questions, here it is out of 22 questions. Okay, if you look at it from this perspective, sorry, 26 questions, you will look at it and you will realize that on an average, close to about 35 to 40% of the questions in Quant come from arithmetic. And another thing you will realize, on an average, a 90 percentile in Quant, is generally in the early 20s. Which means if you are getting about 7 to 8 questions right, you are almost sure to get a 90 percentile. Which means if you get 33% of the entire section correct, you will get a 90 percentile. I am repeating, 33% of the entire section of Quant, if you get it correct, 1/3. If there are 22 questions, get 7 or 8 questions right, you will get a 90 percentile for sure. And 35 to 40 come from arithmetic. That means you can actually get a 90 percentile only from arithmetic. You can actually get a 90 percentile only from arithmetic and nothing else. You can actually get a 90 percentile only from arithmetic and nothing else. Second is algebra, which is again close to about 20% of the paper. So if I compound 20 to 25% of the paper. If I combine arithmetic and algebra, we are looking at 60 to 65% of the paper. Out of 22 questions, 60 to 65% of the paper is going to be close to about 14 to 15 questions. Out of these 14, 15, even if you attempt 10 and get them all correct, you will still get about 95 percentile. That means you can get 95 percentile in quant only through arithmetic algebra. You don't even need to look at geometry, number systems and modern math. That's point one. That's point one. Sanskriti is saying, sir, please at least answer my question. Everything is visible. I've answered everything. I will not pick up any more questions on best colleges of Delhi, best colleges of Madras, best colleges of finance, best colleges of family business. I won't pick that up. We'll keep that in a different session altogether in August, September. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay, currently just focused on CAT. Just focus on cracking the exam. Nothing else. Okay, August, September we will talk about that. It will help you. Abhi just single-minded focus on the exam. Okay. Does number of questions keep changing? As you saw, Pranada, it has kept changing over the last 3 years, predominantly because of COVID. From 2016 to 19, it was the same. Okay. Lowest score at which top B school will take admission, keeping aside other criteria. Abhishek, on an average score about 95 percentile. If you score 95 plus, you have a good chance of getting into the top 25-30 B schools. Okay. I am doing engineering from average college. Is it possible to crack CAT? Obviously, you will get people getting into IIM Ahmedabad after doing IGNO, School of Open Studies, say doing their undergraduation as well. कोई top 10, 20, 30 colleges में not पढ़े. If 10 correct, it's 90 percentile, is it? Ishita, 10 correct would be 95 percentile. 10 net correct, which means 30 marks, would be 95 percentile for sure in quant. This year in quant, 6 to 7 questions, if you attempted and got them correct, you were getting a 90 percentile. I'll get to that. Let's first look at the arithmetic breakup. Now the next question is, arithmetic itself is huge. Arithmetic itself is huge. What to focus on in arithmetic? And for that we've done a very concrete analysis for you, and I'll focus. So 40% of the paper comes from arithmetic. If you look at arithmetic, some things to focus on. Okay. So algebra is 30% of the paper, you know, arithmetic plus algebra 65 to 70%, geometry about 14-15% of the paper, then numbers about 9 to 10% of the paper, and finally modern math, which is close to about 3 to 4% of the paper. Okay. Now if I'm looking at it from the perspective of which are the subtopics to look at, well, look at this. Did you know on an average every single year, time, speed, distance and time and work combined gave you 4 questions. Time, speed, distance and time and work combined gave you 4 questions in CAT. This year in CAT, 4 questions all correct would have been 12 marks, would have been 80 percentile. That means had you gone ahead and attempted only time, speed, distance and time and work and nothing else, you would have scored 80 percentile. Is that an eye-opener or not? Only 2 subtopics. Only time, speed, distance and time and work and you would have scored an 80 percentile, guys. Keep that in mind. That is how important these 2 topics are. Time, speed, distance and time and work. Only these 2. Only these 2. And that's an 80 percentile. Another interesting thing. Every year on an average, numbers plus modern math gives 4 to 5 questions. Geometry gives 4 to 5 questions. That means geometry 4 to 5, numbers plus modern math 4 to 5, and alone time, speed, distance plus time and work 4 to 5. That means I can leave entire geometry and only do time, speed, distance and time and work, nothing else. Nothing else. Are you understanding this, guys? Are you understanding how important that is? And are you understanding the takeaway of how these important subtopics are going to fetch you marks? So my recommendation to everybody till the month of April, May is only do arithmetic. Only do arithmetic and nothing else. Start with percentages, move to SICI, do profit and loss, from their averages, ratios, mixtures, from their time, speed, distance, time and work. Only do this and nothing for the next 3 months. March, April, May, please don't do anything other than arithmetic. Nothing. Nothing else. Is that clear? Is that clear? If you do arithmetic well, you become a stud here. You can probably even score a 95 percentile in quant only through this and nothing else. Please mark my words. After arithmetic, the next thing to pick up is algebra. Here also look at the subtopics, quadratic equations, sequence, series and logarithms and functions. If I just look at these 4, you are looking at close to about 6 questions. You are looking at close to about 6 questions coming from here. You are looking at close to 6 questions coming from here. Please keep that in mind. So my recommendation till May, arithmetic. till July, arith plus algebra. Don't do anything else. Arithmetic and algebra kar liya na, you can even get a 99 percentile in CAT in Quant only through arithmetic and algebra. Forget everything else. For example, look here, geometry dekhna abhi. Geometry total I am saying average 4 to 5 questions, 4.92. 4.92 is equal to time, speed, distance plus time and work. Khali wo do subtopic kar lo and that is as much as geometry, forget it. Number systems only 2.5. Numbers is important. There is also going to be a little bit of weightage of numbers in DILR. You will get 1 or 2 sets from there. So numbers eventually in CAT will contribute about 6 to 7 questions. So it becomes important, don't leave it. But please keep in mind arithmetic plus algebra, holy grail. Another thing to keep in mind, probability. Guys, for the last 10 years in CAT, probability say barely any question. Probability say barely any questions. For the last 10 years in CAT, probability barely any questions. You don't need to waste time. You don't need to waste time. Only focus on the things that I am stating. Once again, I will repeat. Till April, May, do only arithmetic. After that, till about June, July, only do arithmetic and algebra. If you become studs in arithmetic and algebra, I will write it on a blank piece of paper. You will score a 90 to 95 percentile in Quant, guaranteed. It could even go to 99 percentile. This is the holy grail. Bible, Gita, Quran, holy grail, whatever you want to call it. This is that. It is very, very important. Clear? Now, if I'm going ahead and looking at it from a percentile conversion, look here. Like I told you, look. 80 percentile this year was 12, 4 questions. 90 percentile 17, 6 questions. And arithmetic itself was 10 questions. 95 percentile 8 questions. 99 percentile 10 questions. Arithmetic plus algebra, A plus A. Arithmetic plus algebra in CAT. Arithmetic plus algebra in CAT this year was close to about 13 to 14 questions. You would have done only that, you could have scored a 99 percentile. Someone is saying, Ishita is saying, non-CAT exam में geometry questions आते हैं, एकदम आते हैं, CAT में भी आते हैं. Even there you can leave it. Even there you can leave it, Ishita. You will never get more than 5 or 6 questions of geometry in any paper. In any paper. But arithmetic will always be very, very high. So arithmetic algebra needs to be the core focus, forget everything else. And this should be an eye-opener. 80 percentile at 4 questions. 80 percentile at 4 questions. 90 percentile at 6 questions. 95 percentile at 8 questions. And akela arithmetic is 10 questions. That's how important it is. I can't scream that anymore. I can't lay stress on that anymore. I hope you get it. Clear, guys? Clear? Rakshana is saying, what about repeaters? Sir, arithmetic I know, basic should I practice? Yes, Rakshana, just do arithmetic. Just do arithmetic, algebra, become a stud. Arithmetic and algebra, you become a stud. I will tell you right now, arithmetic and algebra, you become a stud. You will go ahead and you'll just crack it. You'll crack probably all entrance exams. In numbers, most important is going to be classification of numbers and factors and HCF LCM. Classification of numbers, factors, LCM, LCM. Lines and angles, Pragati falls in geometry. Look at that much later. You don't need to look at that right now. Look at that much later. Okay? Is that clear? One more thing I want to focus on in terms of analytics is something which I want to keep in mind. Now, guys, how many people write CAT? How many people write CAT? And I'll have a sip of water here. Can you tell me how many people write CAT? I'm waiting for an answer. Oops, a throat really needed that, parched throat. Okay, so how many people write CAT, guys? Can you tell me? On an average, how many people write CAT? Yes, I'm getting quite a few answers. 1.8, 2, 2.3. What is it? What do you think? How many people write CAT in a year? On an average. How many people write CAT? 1.5 to 2 is a good range, but huge range. 2 lakhs, yeah. So you are absolutely right. 1.8 to 2 chalta hai. Pragati, I pointed out, lines and angles is geometry. Don't focus on that right now. We'll look at it later. So if I take the ballpark of 2 lakh, remember I told you 70 percentile was at a score of 36. Remember I told you that, and I asked you all 36 means 12 marks per section, which means 4 questions per section. Remember? And I asked all of you all, and you all said, yeah, we can do that. We are very confident. That means 70 percentile out of 2.4 lakh people, 70%, 1.4 lakh. Up to 1.4 lakh people, they score less than equal to 36 marks. You feel as of today you are better than that, yes or no? Yes or no? And that is absolutely true. As of today, you are better than that. You are better than that. Now I'm going to pose a question. These 70% of the people on an average generally are not the serious lot. They generally don't go into a CAT preparation program, spend money, focus a lot and do that. The number of people who take coaching and prepare very, very seriously is much lesser. So each time you go ahead and you write a mock, you are actually benchmarking yourself against only the serious aspirants, yes or no? Yes or no? You are benchmarking yourself only against the serious aspirants, yes or no? Correct? That means you are probably benchmarking yourself against these 0.6 lakh or 60,000 people. You are benchmarking yourself against these 60,000 people. Now imagine you go ahead and write a mock, okay? And on an average, the number of people writing that mock is say 20,000. Say hypothetically, us mock mein you get a 50 percentile. That means you are better than 10,000 of these people. Your rank is 10,000, you are better than 10,000 of these people out of 20,000. But don't forget, 1.4 lakh people to CAT likhte hi nahi. You are anyway, matlab wo to seriously likhte hi nahi, they are just there to make up numbers. So you are better than this 1.4 lakh as well. So now you are better than 1.4 lakh plus 10,000. That means you are better than 1,50,000 people. Even though your rank in the mock is 50 percentile, you are better than 1,50,000 people out of 2 lakh, which means your percentile is somewhere around 75. That means in a mock, when you actually score 50, you are around 70 to 75 percentile in CAT. Do you get that? Do you understand the logic behind it? Hence, write mocks. Start writing mocks from April itself. Preparation kuch nahi hua na, fir bhi likho. Even then, go ahead and write and see whether you can attempt 3 to 4 questions per section, get your 9 to 12 marks per section, come out and state without preparation also I'm scoring 30-35, I'm better than 70% of the people. Hence, mocks to actual exam percentile conversion is different. 50 percentile in mocks is 70 percentile in CAT, 60 in mocks is like 80 in CAT, 70 in mock is like 87, 88, 90 in mock is like 95, 96, 95 is like 97, 98, 99 is at 99.5 or so. Main reason, when you reach this region, then the toppers, those who are going to score 95 plus are actually those who are prepping as well. Most of them you are competing with. That is why the growth or the increase is lowered. There is a great increase at this end, there is a slightly lesser increase at this end. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Everybody clear? Please keep that in mind. Do not feel bad if you score 30, 40, 50 percentile in mocks. In CAT, that is way more. Because your competition already out there of 1,20,000 to 1,40,000 people is something that you are better than if you just keep your nerves and understand what you need to do. Cool? Good. Hope you understood what I'm trying to state. Hope you are understanding what I'm getting to. Clear? Now, I will get to the last part of this session, and I had stated about 60 to 75 minutes. I'm about 75 minutes in. I'll take another 5-10 minutes. I want to talk about a study plan. I'm going to talk about a month-wise preparation plan for you all, okay? A month-wise preparation plan for you all. Let's move into that. So, study plan for CAT 22. What do I want you to look at from a March to April perspective? What do I want you to look at from a March to April perspective? In Quant, focus on arithmetic. Already spoken about that, right? Already spoken about that. I don't want to repeat. Focus on arithmetic and nothing else. Okay? Practice arithmetic. Do topic tests. If you enroll in our program, we are giving you topic tests at the sub-micro level. For example, SI-CI ke andar we will give you topic test. We will give you topic test. You know, most of the other places will give you topic tests in time, speed, distance. We will give you topic test not only in time, speed, distance, but time, speed, distance further broken down into boths and streams. You will get specific topic test only on boths and streams to become good there. You will get specific topic test on only trains to become good there. Those are the kind of minute levels that we will get to in arithmetic because we realize arithmetic is the most important part. Okay? So do topic test, prep a lot, read up, go through the videos on the app on arithmetic. I have recorded almost most of them. Hopefully they are nice. Hopefully they help your, they help you understand what the concepts are. Go ahead and go through them. From the perspective of DILR, only focus on these: reasoning based DI, matrix, unconventional, games and tournaments. That's it. Before that, get your basics in place. Get your basics in place. So go through the basic sessions on the app already. Okay. Can I apply for FMS Delhi for MBIT? You can apply for MBA. Yeah, you can surely apply for MBA at FMS, the MBA course. Okay. Cool. In terms of verbal, what is it that you should do? Well, I have a very simple thing to state: read, and then read more. Okay, we've already given you specific sources. Go to EON, NYT, Guardian, Hindu, Smithsonian. Read, and the genres also we've gone ahead and we've pinpointed. Go through that. Okay. If I only focus on CAT, do I need to give other entrances? Yes, give all entrances Rhythma, at least the top 5: CAT, ZAT, IFT, NMAT, and SNAP. Focus for the exam specific or the exam specific preparation for NMAT, SNAP, IFT should start only post August. Till then, only look at CAT. Dhananjay, you can attempt mocks on our app. There are going to be 1 or 2 free mocks, and other than that, it's for paid students. You can enroll and you can get them. Okay. Okay. Next, what is the plan for May, June, and July? Okay. For May, June, and July, once again, alongside arithmetic, please also start algebra. Remember, I had pointed this out earlier as well. Till May only do arithmetic, then add algebra. I am going ahead and stating till July only do arithmetic and algebra, nothing else. If you become a studier, you are done. You've done everything. Similarly, in DILR, I'm going to state exactly the same. Only everything that I've stated: unconventional, games and tournaments, reasoning based DI, matrix, just add Venn diagrams to that. Just add Venn diagrams and missing data to that. That's it. Or kuch nahi karna, just practice here. Okay. I'm a student of BYJU'S tablet program. Is the program different from that program? Hardik, depends. Look at the BYJU'S exam prep tablet program. It's much more intrinsic. And if you're a BYJU'S tablet student already, go to download the BYJU'S exam prep app, which is this app. And here also you would be a paid student. Look at all the videos. There are additional videos that we've added onto your app. Go through those. The BYJU'S tablet program has a lot of videos from Santosh Sir and BYJU'S. The BYJU'S exam prep tablet has a lot of videos taken by yours truly here, Savitri ma'am and Srinivas, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you will find that. So look at that. Okay, cool. And if I'm looking at it from a verbal perspective, start reading more and more articles. One thing I want you to focus on is memory. Now, what do I mean by that? Each time you read articles now, try concluding the article, try coming out with the main idea and the inference of the article, try coming out with what is it that the article is specifically talking about, and try remembering things in memory. Why? Because on an average, out of the questions that come in DILR, close to out of the questions that come in RC, close to 25 to 30% are going to be factual questions. That means 16 may 25 to 30 factual. That means 4 to 5 questions will be factual. Sometimes even 6. Can you answer all of those through memory without going to the passage? That is free 15 to 18 marks. That is free 15 to 18 marks. That's it. Don't worry. And you're done. Can we get class PDF later? No. For this class, we will not get a PDF. You'll hopefully get the video recording if you liked it. Okay. Is there important to pass? Yes, Pragati, it's important to get sectional cutoff in every section. Try getting 80 percentile plus in every section. Ideally 85 plus, and it would be nice. Okay. Cool. Finally, August, September, this is the time when you can look at other topics, geometry, numbers, and modern math. I would still say arithmetic and algebra, keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing. Similarly, in DILR, you can look at scheduling, radar charts, networks and routes, and so on and so forth, but keep practicing. I have already given you a very specific month-wise schedule. Focus on that. In verbal, once again, practice RCs. Every day 3 to 4 RCs, like somebody, Ishita, was pointing out. Do that constantly. And this is the time when you write 1 mock per week. 1 mock per week starting from August. Before this, from say about June onwards, June and July, 1 mock every 2 weeks. And April to May, 1 mock every month. Okay, April and May, 1 mock a month. June and July, 1 mock every 2 weeks. August, September, 1 mock every week. October, November, write 2 mocks a week. Write 2 mocks a week, okay? Full length mocks, write 2 to 3 mocks per week. And if there are very specific topics where you feel you need a little bit more work, take those topic and sectional texts. they should be in link and in sync with what I pointed out earlier in terms of the important topics. Arithmetic mein, I will choose to do time, speed, distance, time and work over the entire geometry and modern math and numbers, for example. Okay? For MB only CAT is mandatory, correct? No. To get into the IIMs and some of the B schools, CAT is an entrance exam. To get into NMIMS and other B schools, NMAT is the entrance exam. To get into Symbiosis and B schools, SNAP is the entrance exam. To get into XLRI other B schools, ZAT is the entrance exam. There are multiple exams, I've spoken about them. Does plus 2 require 75 percentile marks in math to get admission? No, not at all. Plus 2 will, the IIMs will only look at your overall percent, taking all subjects into consideration, okay? Saurabh, I will not get into which schools are good for HR, IT, this and that. There are multiple schools. For HR, TISNET or TISS, XLRI are very, very good. You can even look at MDIHR and SCMHRT, okay? For working professionals, how to manage time, my recommendation, Ishita, every single day, try to give 2 hours in the evening, in the weekends, try to give about 4 hours. If every week you can give about 10 to 12 hours, you are in a good place to begin with. From when to start studying for CAT 23, I think the ideal time would be to start around June or July of this year. Pranada, okay? So that's it from my end. One final thing. With respect to everything that I've spoken about right now, we at BYJU'S Exam Prep also have a course for you. It's the most comprehensive CAT 2022 comprehensive course. Some of you all might have already enrolled. Those who haven't, go ahead and enroll right now. You will hopefully get a call from one of our counselors explaining this more in detail. But to let you know, there are going to be 135 odd live sessions like this, live 1.5 hour sessions which will happen on the app. In addition to that, 300 plus comprehensive recorded sessions recorded by me, ton of them, BYJU'S sir, Santosh, Srinivas, Savitri ma'am, all of us who are serial 99 percentilers or from the IIMs ourselves. You will get that as well. 70 plus mocks, across CAT and other MBA exams, 20 in CAT and 50 for the other non-CAT. More than 9,500 practice questions, actually over 10,000 practice questions through topic tests and sectional tests, and GDPI preparation recorded and live. Okay, so month-wise preparation plan, once again, all of you all who are looking at it, this is everything and much, much more which is going to be a part of the entire course. From month-wise perspective, April and May look at arithmetic in Quant. June, July also look at arithmetic in Quant along with algebra. So from March till July look at arithmetic and algebra. Post that look at the other topics. From a verbal perspective, read genres that we spoke about and sources that we spoke about. Okay. And finally, from a DILR perspective, reasoning based DI, matrix, unconventional games and tournaments and Venn diagram. That's it. That's it from my end. For any queries, people will reach out to you. My team will reach out to you. That's it from my end. Hopefully this session was something which was helpful. Thanks for that, Anthony. Hopefully you liked it. Thanks for stating it's an amazing session. Hope you all liked the session. Please go ahead and follow that. My recommended schedule in terms of if you are a fresher, try to give about 12 to 14 hours per day. If you are a WorkX guy, try to give about 10 to 12 hours per day. Most of it over the weekend. That's about it. So from the study plan perspective, I went ahead and I stated it again. Hopefully you like the session. Hopefully this was good. Hopefully you can go ahead and start your preparation now. And if you liked it, you want me back, number one, enroll in the course. You will find almost hundreds of videos of mine, especially in Quant and DILR. I've taken a lot of sessions. Hopefully that will help you a lot. Secondly, I'll catch you again on multiple such sessions, strategy sessions on the app and on YouTube. More of it on the app. So do catch me for that. That's it from my end. 300 plus recorded lecture is in app. Yes, it's in the app, Ravi, and it's also there in SD card if you want it. Thanks, Ashi. Thanks, Gaurang. Lovely. So Abhishek's number is there. Jaisimha, can you just note that down, please? Abhishek's number, which is on the screen. We'll get the team to give him a call. So I've asked my team to note down your number. Abhishek, you'll get a call tomorrow or day after. Okay. Pallavi, thanks. I'm amazing. Okay, thanks for that. You're all amazing. I hope we have, an interesting days of cricket, in store today as well. But that's it from my end. And all the best to the women's, Indian team to go ahead and get that World Cup home. That's it. Please share my contact number. Okay. Now, you all will inundate me with calls. So what I'll do is the contact number will be available when the team gives you a mentorship call. They will go ahead and give you my call. Okay. Otherwise, there are close to about 1,000 of you all today. I can't take 1,000 calls. मर जाऊंगा. Okay, so 1,000 calls difficult hoga, but yeah, in case you want to reach out to me, go ahead and you can just drop a WhatsApp to me here at 98312888197. Just drop a WhatsApp and that's it from my end, and we're done. Bye bye for that, guys. That's it from my end. Hopefully this was helpful. Do enroll in the course. Hopefully that is something that's going to keep you in sync, and we'll catch you once again. Bye bye for now. Tada. Thank you.